Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to Market Mondays. Hopefully, you guys had a great weekend. I'm going to give you guys a quick update on everything that happened last week and what's to expect this week. So, before I get right into it, I'm going to do a quick dad joke. Dad joke today is, what do you call a Chinese assassin? A Chinese assassin. It's called Chinese takeout. Get it? So, getting right into the next, what's going on this week and last week. We ended the government shutdown last week around Wednesday night, which was really nice because the House made the decision that night, and the president stayed late to sign the new bill into the new government funding extension bill that night, right after the House voted on it. Now, here's a couple things that comes with that. Yes, the government shutdown's over, but this extension bill to extend funding only goes until January 30th of 2026. So what that could mean is that in February, we might be in another shutdown if they don't figure something out by then. So all this is relatively, in a sense, temporary. So I would recommend a lot of people really kind of just being careful as how they were going to go over how they're going to handle their finances over the next couple of months, because we might be in another shutdown within the next 2.5 months. So be mindful of that. Now that the government shutdown's over, we are going to get the updated economic reports that we've been missing. The one that's I care most about is the unemployment rate. So the unemployment rates that we have not received are the one in October and the one in November, which all report for the previous month. BLS announced this morning that they will release the October report for September. So then that's going to be Thursday this week in the morning around 8:30 Eastern time. Now, the thing about this report is that, this is still old information. So it really tells us what's happened in September that gets reported in October. Now, what we're expecting is that the expectation now is that the unemployment rate, it might roughly stay about the same, about 4.3%. But with everything else, with all the other employment reports, the labor market reports, all show really strong weaknesses. So what we could be seeing is that maybe the unemployment rate stays the same. But the other thing to consider is that this is also a rounding situation. So 4.25 and 4.34 will always report as 4.3 if that's the case. Now we hope that it says 4.35 or 4.36, then it rounds up to 4.4, but we don't really know how it's going to report. So that's the expectation right now, is that it's going to stay at least the same. So we don't know how the bond market's going to be responding to that when it comes in on Thursday, because again, it's also old news. So we won't be getting we won't get the report for October that gets released in November until about 3 to 4 weeks from now. So that is the biggest news that we are going to see this week on Thursday. So that's one of the things that kind of hold your breath on. Now, with all these reports that are coming in late, especially the reports in November, when the Fed meets in the beginning of next month, they most likely 50-50 are going to keep the Fed rate the same, because all the unemployment rates, all the other economic reports that they need haven't caught up yet up to that point at the very least. I believe they decided not to release the inflation report for the month of November. So because we've been shut down for most of it. So there's a lot going on, even with the employees that have been furloughed. Some of them have been laid off. There's a lot of workers that have been laid off, and some of the reasons are due to AI coming in and replacing jobs. So there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of layers. Amazon apparently laid off a bunch of people over the last couple months because of AI concerns and try to slim down. So we really don't know how December is going to go either. And then once we get caught up in December, because we should get the November report and December report in December, and then we'll have January hopefully on time. But the tough thing is that what's going to happen in February. So we're not quite out of the woods yet when it comes to this whole government shutdown and what they plan on doing. I'm glad that it's over. I'm glad the shutdown's over. I'm glad we're almost back to normal right before the holiday season. However, we're not out of the woods. So we don't know how this is all going to play out for the beginning of next year, because we're going to have. Right now, the forecast is that we have a month of in 2026. We'll have January, and then we don't know how February is going to work out. So my recommendation is that be careful with your finances. I know it's the holidays. I would recommend maybe holding on to a few mortgage payments, maybe saving a few mortgage payments as best you can. As far as your personal finances go, as far as I go, as in trying to figure out how mortgage rates are going to respond, the main thing is going to see what it's like what's going to happen on Thursday. So I hope, even if it comes in at expected, I hope the actual number, the next decimal shows the true number, and it is showing that it's going up. So, but we do get 4.3 or 4.4. I hope that if we get 4.4 and it goes up, the mortgage market is going to respond pretty well. Mortgage rates will come down. If it stays about the same, we'll see. But everything else showed that the labor market's doing really bad. Otherwise, that's all I got for you guys today. Nuke out.